The International Conference on Peace, Security and Social Enterprise convened by Mount Kenya University and other partners emphasized the essence of a country having a peaceful election. MKU chairman and founder, Professor Simon Gisharu, said institutions of higher learning have a critical role to play to ensure that the forthcoming election does not polarize the country. More than 3,000 students left the university in the aftermath of the 2007 post-election violence, and therefore the conference was an ideal platform of spreading peace among Kenyans, especially the youth.
During the 2007 post-election violence, the university lost about 3,000 students. We were not killed, but they left the university because of what the one was saying here about what is in the name.
We all have different names. No name is wrong.
Those names that were not in the area where the university is situated left, and they left and never came back. At the same place, we also lost. So our students lost about 10 parents at that time when we had to take them through scholarships. And because of that, the investment we have done as a university is not in vain. Let us not talk peace after peace has been destructed. Let us not talk about curative. Let's think about the preventive. And this is a very good forum for us to prevent any occurrence like what happened in 2007. Institutions of higher learning control about 80% of dynamic young people who are going everywhere. They are very dynamic, and it is important to be able to inculcate in them as change agents. When we talk peace, when we talk security to those young people, they can be able to go out there and influence others because they are very dynamic. And what the university is doing today is really living to that particular calling. The world spends about billions of dollars in solving conflicts. If those billions of dollars can be used to support the youth enterprise, I am very sure all the employed youth we're talking about who are disrupting peace in the world would all be employed. Can we support peace so that we don't have to spend these billions of dollars in unnecessary investments?
Gisharu also embraced the Nyumba Kumi initiative and donated 5 million Kenya shillings towards a peace consortium that was established as an outcome conference to propagate research on the concept and how it can be improved.
I want to go a little bit further and talk about these Nyumba Kumi concepts. And I want to say that it's a very good idea in the sense that we need to know our neighbors. And therefore, when we're talking about this concept of Nyumba Kumi, it is something that needs to be supported. We don't need to criticize it. And as institutions of higher learning, we need to do more research in terms of the good things in Nyumba Kumi. And I want to say that after this forum, I have been told by the conveners that a forum will be created after this. And I want to say that we will use that consortium, and I will donate about 5 million Kenya shillings for that consortium to propagate research on the concept of Nyumba Kumi.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Joseph Ngaiseri, who was the chief guest, said the conference was timely as it will enable Kenyans distinguish good from wrong in this electioneering period. He singled out institutions of higher learning, media, government institutions, and citizens as critical players in ensuring that there is peace and stability in the forthcoming elections. The CES urged institutions of higher learning to look critically on the causes of instability and insecurity in the country and educate Kenyans on the same.
It is very important for us, and especially in the university, or institution of higher learning to look into critically the root causes of instability. What are the causes of instability? Is it the name, as I want to say? Is it unfairness? Is it unfair distribution of resources? What are the causes of instability? What are the causes of people to get out of peaceful situation? This is a very, very important area which the university should look critically and develop, especially our young people. And there are two things which, when we were in the military academy, as people who are supposed to provide support for stability, two very important things. One is the aspirations of citizens. What do citizens aspire for? What citizens want? And the second is the expectations of citizens. What do citizens expect? And so if we base these two factors on this and bring in the issue of leadership, then we can, as a nation, or as a community of nations, be able to understand and look at how we can bridge this, because people, Kenyans, or citizens of the world aspire to live in a peaceful environment, to be able to run their businesses, to be able to conduct their affairs in an interrupted way. That's what they expect. And they expect their governments to provide that security for them to be able to prosper. So this conference is very timely because it comes at a time when we are preparing as a country for the scheduled election of 8th of August. With the impending general election, we are experiencing violence in places that were traditionally non-violent. Kenyans are aware that they do not have another country to run to should animosity erupt or anarchy erupt. We must all work to remain united, peaceful, cohesive, irrespective of our social, cultural, and political diversity.
Ngaiseri assured Kenyans of the government's commitment towards ensuring lives and properties are secured before and after the general elections.
The government has put in place security system and structures to ensure that the country, its citizens, and their property are secure before, during, and after the general election. We will ensure that it's not only during the election that citizens and their property are secure, but at all times.
Chairperson, National Cohesion and Integration Commission, Francis Olekaparo, however, exempted politicians from taking the blame of disrupting peace in the country, saying the citizens also should be blamed of taking in the lies.
Lack of peace is not theoretical, it is real. It damages, it kills, it stagnates development, it alienates people, it brings enmity, it sucks away energy from the combatants, from the onlookers, from the neighbors. I've seen this around our land. However small it is, but market, there cannot be large scale and small scale lack of peace. Either you have it or you don't have it.
Director and CEO of Kenya School of Law, Professor PLO Lumumba, who was among the keynote speakers, urged the media to be cautious while reporting on matters affecting the country.
I choose to be very practical when I talk about peace, and one need only understand the continent of Africa and her state to appreciate the significance of peace. Many of you will agree with me that Africa continues to punch below her weight in the political arena, in the economic arena, and in the area of social cohesion because of war and conflict. Many African countries on the eve of attaining independence made a solemn promise to their people that they would enjoy peace and that on the crest of peace, economic development would be realized. But no sooner had we attained independence than many African countries started plunging into chaos. And you only have to look at the continent of Africa to know how we have suffered as a result of conflict. Many African countries, some of which you know, continue to be troubled today because of the conflict that afflicted them in their early years. Angolans will tell you that they could have been better but for the over 10 years of war. Mozambique will tell you the same thing. My good friend in Rwanda will tell you, and many others in different parts of Africa. Today, as we sit here, many African countries are not at ease because of conflict. We see conflict of different dimensions in many African countries. South Sudan, the youngest nation on earth, is at war as we speak. And the number of refugees that are being generated through that conflict and running to Uganda, to Kenya, to Ethiopia, and the impact on the economy is something that historians will have a lot to say about in years to come. In this part of the world, it is not lost on me that we as a country, Kenya, have over the years been spared the full flavor of war. But we have had our own difficulties over the years. Many Kenyans will remember in the year 1992, when we had what different commentators have named differently. Some have christened them tribal clashes, others land clashes, but whatever name that we chose to give to them, the fact is that lives were lost. In 1997, we had similar experiences. But the country was almost lost in the year 2007, 2008, because after we had gone into an election, Kenyans took the view that the elections had not been conducted properly, and that if they had been conducted properly, the result did not reflect the will of the people, and communities rose against communities, and we lost over 1,000 Kenyans and lost uncountable property. It is only during that period that Kenyans realized that peace could be lost very easily, and all the gains that we had accumulated over time could be lost very easily. It is something that we must therefore discuss today, because in 3 months' time, once again, we are faced with an election. In Kenya, there is Vision 2030, and the intention of the government of Kenya is to ensure that by 2030 we are a middle-level economy and that we enjoy the fruits and dividends of peace and economic progress. But the fundamental question that we never ask, what about if we undermine our peace? One of the things that we must do in our quest to ensure that we have peace is to create an environment where people can enjoy the fruits of their labor without resorting to ethnic animosity. It is important that the media, particularly in Africa, ask the fundamental question. Even as they talk about press freedom, we must ask ourselves, what is press responsibility? We are quick to talk about freedom, but slow to talk about our responsibility. Our countries are fragile, and because of their fragility, we must remind ourselves on a daily basis that there are certain things that you can say in the United States of America, but it will never be shaken. There are certain things that you can say in France, it will never be shaken. There are certain things that you can say in the Netherlands, it will never be shaken. But the same thing said in an African setting can destroy a country. The media, remember the words of Joseph Momo of Sierra Leone. The media is like a warrior who carries a Kalashnikov in his hands. You can use it to protect or use it to destroy. Let us have responsibility in the media in this country and in Africa.
The media is key in maintaining peace, in ensuring that countries, societies, communities, and people actually do not set themselves up for situations like the one that have been described here by the other speakers, because it's very easy for media to become careless. It's very easy for media to be misused. We have seen it. We saw it in Rwanda. We saw it in our own country here. And in really every instance of conflict, of lack of peace in the world, you will find a role, either negative or positive, that the media has played.
During the event, speakers emphasized on the role of the education sector in promoting peace.
In the United States, there are thousands of teachers who have been trained in discipline with purpose in how to teach these basic self-discipline skills to their students. Hundreds of schools in many states across the United States use this framework, and it's proven to be very successful in helping them build these self-discipline skills. We consider the world leaders sometimes think they're missing some of these skills, and so if we can get our students to possess these skills as they enter their adulthood, it would bring so much more to the peace of the world.
Schools are always affected when the country burns. Peace is therefore a prerequisite for a functional education system.
What we have realized is that the stability of any private school is actually entirely dependent on the harmonious coexistence among the students, among the parents, and among the teachers. We had initial challenges, so we could actually come up with practices that are going to help initiate peace in the school. So it is very important that we try to bring on board so many activities to engage these students, to make them get even to enjoy school life, and as a result of that, less stress and peaceful coexistence.
The curtains fell on the International Conference on Peace, Security and Social Enterprise amid a lot of pomp and color. At the climax of this memorable occasion, Dr. Vincent Gaido, the chairman of the steering committee and vice chairman of MKU's University Council, highlighted on its key outcomes.
In one word, it was super. It attracted a huge turnout. We had the government. This conference opening ceremony was graced by the CS Interior and the PS Defense. We had the chairman of the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. We had Kenya Pipeline. We had Biashara Lay, of course. We had Nation Media Group. We had National Research Fund. We had partners from UK. We had, in particular, we had delegates from University of West Scotland. We had delegates from the Americans. We had University of Clark here. We had delegates from Nigeria. We had delegates from Ghana, from Rwanda. It was a real international conference. And we are very grateful for the services we have received from Safari Park Hotel and for the colorful and strong papers that were discussed. What has emerged from this conference is that peace is an asset that we have to nurture, is an asset that we have to protect, and we must do everything within our means to make sure that we do not lose this very important aspect of peace as a country, as a region, as a continent, and as a globe.
In no doubt, as a university, we've spent some substantial amount of money to bring all the understanding together and have this conference become a success. It was very emotive in that it was designed before the general election to address the key issues which are likely to affect our country. And as a nation, we have responsibility and duty to protect and defend the country. This is our contribution as a university by trying to enlighten the Kenyans the need of having peace in the coming general election, the need of working together to promote peace within our country and in the entire region of East Africa.
During the closing ceremony, guests from various parts of the world enjoyed a memorable entertainment session and a sumptuous buffet. Dr. Gaitho was once again delighted that the conference, which had taken a lot of resources and time to organize, had achieved its objectives.
It has been expressed that this conference should be an annual event. And Mount Kenya University is going to partner with other stakeholders to make sure, and government to make sure that it becomes a truly annual event. My chairman, Professor Gisharu, is also committed to support the events of this and the outcome of this conference. An important outcome is we're going to launch what we're calling African Consortium for Peace, where we are expecting to bring together all stakeholders, universities, organizations, institutions that are focused on peace, so as we may continue to work on the peace agenda.
Noting that the university's partners had played a crucial role in making the conference a resounding success, Dr. Gaitho invited some of them to address the guests.
As has been mentioned, we did gladly enter into a partnership with the university to run this conference because of its importance and its timeliness to the work that the Commission actually does. As you all know, we have the August polls coming up in a few months, and having a platform for us to actually talk about the issues that concern us, and not only talk about them, but have the openness to find solutions or to find the way forward for some of the issues that have bedeviled our political process was for us very important. This is a meeting of minds, to our view, between the practitioners and the academia. It's not only a place where theories are advanced, but it's a place where we can try to apply those theories into practice, or it's actually a place where experience tests the theories that have been advanced by academics. And so it's a privilege for us not only to have been part of this conference, but to look forward to the African Consortium for Peace, which I think shall be talked about much more in a few minutes to come. We are very interested as the NCSC to be part of the African Consortium for Peace. This is because it will be a platform where innovations will actually be turned into reality.
I'm grateful to be here this evening. On behalf of Kenya Pipeline, I'll say that we really feel appreciated to have been invited or to have partnered with you.
Professor Simon Gisharu also shared his views about the conference.
I said yesterday that we are not going just to talk, because people say you talk and whatever you talk is at that. And I said that as a university, we are going to commit about Kenya shillings 5 million to the consortium that is just about to be launched in order for it to get some work to do. And I said that, like when I talked about Mku Peace, I said, you know, most of many people worldwide are very good in criticizing any initiative. And we say that the time for criticizing everything that comes in our way is over. Can we walk the talk and we get something like that one, Mku Peace, and any other initiative, and do research in it? And I can see, and I was told this house has got the doctors and professors who are qualified to do research in various areas and give us solutions. When I wake up every morning, what I ask myself, the first thing I ask myself, do I have peace? Then, as I start walking out, I start asking myself, am I secure? Secure. So peace and security is really embedded in our lives.
One of the key outcomes of the conference was the establishment of a consortium of peace and security geared towards sharing the best practices on enhancing sustainable peace in Africa.
We are here for a futuristic action. The chairman, board of directors, and ladies and gentlemen, a lot of talk has been done since yesterday. We have talked and talked and talked. Time has come to walk the talk. And I am happy that the chairman, board of directors has indicated there is no going back. Yes, there is no going back. We've been promised that we have to do workshops. We have been promised that we have to be funded for workshops. I am aware that various universities and organizations have already committed themselves to join the consortium as we move forward. Next year, when we come for the conference, it will not be a committee that we have organized, but it will be the consortium. And this means that it will be a product of all the organizations that are going to subscribe to the consortium.
Madam Joyce Mushemi, Director, Institute of Security Studies, Justice and Ethics at MKU, shed light on why the Peace Consortium had been established.
The African Consortium for Peace is a very noble idea that originated from our conference meeting deliberations. Influence policies at either the ministerial level or other levels, and maybe sometimes even engage with stakeholders in the Ministry of Education, and therefore, for instance, embed peace education in our curriculum. Of course, we know that is ongoing at a very formative stages, but we are trying to see how practical we can look at that. Another expected outcome is that we want to carry out collaborative research on peace and security within Africa and beyond. In this regard, we are looking for research that is community-oriented, and we are thinking of working with people like National Cohesion and Integration Commission, and working on research that is geared towards identifying communal problems. So you realize that I'm talking so much about communities and community participation as opposed to theory and what we have always done in academia, because now we want to reach the grassroots and try to solve their problems using their own mechanisms and embedding them as we make decisions. We also have another expected outcome of the consortium, and that is on publications and articles, policy briefs, and just keeping people alert in Kenya and in Africa and beyond on emerging security threats. we realize that conflict and security dynamics keep on changing, and issues were a security concern, for example, 3 years ago, are no longer a security concern today because of the changing dynamics. And those are some of our ideas.
As a sign of patriotism, the guests danced to the tune of the evergreen song Kenya Kipenzi Changu. Organized on the background that higher education systems are endowed with a pool of resourced persons with the capacity to contribute to the changing trends in peace and security challenges, there is no doubt that the International Conference on Peace, Security and Social Enterprise was a timely and brilliant idea. The conference brought together local and global academia, private sector players, government officials, representatives of faith-based institutions, and members of the public to deliberate on peace, security, and social enterprise for sustainable development.
Oh,